Hello, everyone. By request, about an hour or so ago, I will be doing a food for thought video. For those of you who are new, my food for thought videos are where I speak in a more open forum type way and I use merely my experiences and my ideas on the topic at hand. I do not really do additional research for these topics unless a very specific set of criteria is met. But the purpose is to inspire conversations, so feel free to engage in the comment section below, or share it with your friends or family and see what they think, or if you think I'm full of shit, feel free to yell at me in the comments down below. It's a conversation. Also, if you haven't, please subscribe and hit that like button. It helps the channel grow, and I want to hit 500 subs by my birthday in late June. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna try really hard. On to the topic at hand. See, during political recaps that Omegon and I do over on the Cthulhukin and Friends show, we get into a variety of potential talking points that we simply do not have a chance to talk about within the hour/hour and a half show we put on every Friday. But with the recent conversations about the MEP elections in the UK featuring political upstarts such as Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad, Mark Meekin, aka Count Dankula, and former English Defence League leader Tommy Robinson, we are hearing a lot of conversation around the topic of voting. Unfortunately, many people see voting as a hassle, and especially in the UK with more frequent elections than those in the United States, I could see how that gets troublesome. In fact, the recent council elections showed a major trend of spoiled votes that chose not to vote any one party. Obviously, this had several implications for the representatives and the councils they represent, but it begs the question, and the topic we will cover in this Food for Thought is, how important is voting? Moreover, why should you vote? Now, while I lead with the UK, I would like to switch to the American perspective, as it is the one that I know best and am able to talk about more firmly on the topic of voting, and then I will return to the UK, Sargon, Dankula, and Tommy. So, throughout the brief history of the United States, various groups have battled for the rights to vote. Originally, those who owned land were the ones who were granted that right, and because women at the time were not permitted to own land, and obviously the slavery in the early times of the United States' founding played a major part, one could make the argument that there was an elite class of individuals that had all the power when making decisions for the rest of the country, those being typically white aristocratic men. Now, of course, laws did not stay stagnant. We eventually would grant women and former slaves the right to vote, yet kept the right to vote away from convicted felons. Interesting, but valid. Additionally, it wasn't just landowners after a certain time, so once a person got to be a certain age, 18 in the states, they were permitted to take part in the federal and state elections in order to have a say in who will represent them. Now, why is this important? Well, for Americans, it was one of the most fundamental causes for the American Revolution. The act of having someone represent you and your interests to the government that rules over you, or rules over the populace, was what many revolutionaries were asking for when the British would pass their debt, at the time, onto the 13 colonies of the mid-18th century. The rallying cry was no taxation without representation. Well, at least that was what they told us in elementary school, and they never really told us otherwise, so let's go with it. It was the response to the taxes on goods like sugar, tea, and stamps by the British monarchy on the colonists that were, in a word, egregious. So, that whole song and dance happens, we end up winning the Revolutionary War, declaring our independence, and installing a government that was subject to the will of the people. We enshrined in our Constitution inalienable rights given by God that every human, except blacks at the time, were born with and could not be taken away. Some of the most notable being the freedom of speech, religion, assembly, press, and petition, being the First Amendment, which allows the people to tell others what they think, and the government cannot infringe on those rights despite perhaps being personally offended. And if a random other person were personally offended, duels were still legal back then. Another of those inalienable rights is the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Yes, I paraphrased it. Fucking sue me. Basically, it allowed the people, in the case of another situation like the British takeover, to be within their legal and godly right to take up arms against tyranny. Now, of course, this is a last-ditch effort, you see, because while that is an extreme case, being able to vote in a representative to the state and federal levels became the primary recourse for disgruntled citizens. It was designed that way. Originally, it was the duty of those elected officials to serve their constituents, and at the time, those who did it did not get a salary. They simply did it to be the change for their friends and neighbors that perhaps hadn't been happening. Of course, money corrupts, and now we have establishment politicians, and who totally don't mind getting that sweet salary. But this is where the power of the vote comes in. After all, the struggle the people of the United States went through, to be saddled with an official that you do not like, a government you do not like, you should have the right to say no, and attempt to vote that person out of office in the next term. Think of, for a moment, all the people who bitch about Trump, for instance. And then you find out that they didn't vote. Well, in my opinion, those people don't have a leg to stand on, because they didn't make their voice heard. So you can't claim foul if you never tried to play ball. Bitching, whining, and screaming in the street is fully within your rights as Americans, but the best way to speak loudly is with your vote. So enjoy the privilege that is afforded to us as Americans, and vote your reps. America. Now, back to the Brits. Now, y'all's government is in the shitter. I gotta be honest, I don't know a hell of a lot about how your parliamentary system works with the voting for parties or voting for individuals within those parties, but I gotta say, not so familiar. But still, you all have the right to vote. So, Brexit, right? Did all of you who bitch about the result put your 2 cents in? I mean the result of the referendum. Did you all put your 2 cents in? Well, you shouldn't bitch because the British government is actively subverting the will of the people by not following through on the duly voted for result of the referendum by the people of the United Kingdom. Sounds to me like y'all could use some America. Kidding, but not really. Alright, so to wrap it all up, let's talk about the MEP candidates. We know that they are all shitlords, with strong beliefs that are similar to one another, but nuanced in their personal experiences. So all 3 are free speech candidates, but Tommy is a persecuted activist and journalist who has been subjugated by the British legal system based on his views primarily on Islam. Count Dankula is a shitlord comedian, and in my opinion, more of a shitlord than Sargon, but I digress, who is campaigning for the understanding that a person could say literally the worst thing to your face in terms of offensive language, and that person does not have the right to say you are not allowed to speak. We will call Dankula a martyr for free speech. And finally, Sargon, who is the one who I can see is trying the hardest to campaign and try to win. Tommy has been censored everywhere, so it's hard to find out what he's been doing. But Sargon is an anti-politically correct advocate. In a sense, he is the median between these 2 kinds of free speech advocacy demonstrated by Dankula and Robinson. And there's a very valid reason why he appears to be the one who can win. He is tactful in his response and does not already have the brand that Dankula and Tommy both have, which is a conviction in the UK courts. For all intents and purposes, Sargon is a good boy who says naughty words. This set of characters has the potential to unsettle this government that is attempting to bring together European countries into an unofficial empire. These MEP candidates can rattle the cage, so to speak, but only if the people wish it. The EU passed Articles 11 and 13. Wouldn't it be fun to see what Dank, Sargon, and or Tommy would say as MEP about such a bill before the whole of Parliament? Well, we may never know, unless you take that leap of faith. But if you didn't vote, and if you don't vote, and things don't pan out the way you want, you have no right to bitch because you gave up your rights as a citizen of your nation. But that's all I've got for today. Let me know what you think down below. I hope you all have a good one, and I'll see y'all soon.